Good morning, what's going on everybody? Kevin Walsh from Ninja Holistic Health and Fitness. Welcome back to this month's video series on flexibility and posture. So we're in week 4 right now, which is the action plan. And what we're going to do as usual is take the first 3 weeks that you learned the basics of posture and flexibility and then put it together into a plan that you can actually use in your everyday life. So I have a couple sheets that I'll go through here to kind of bring it all together. And then I'll show you at the very end as a bonus item, the sheet that I use with my clients when I'm working with them privately, of how to actually fill in the stretches appropriately with the right number of repetitions and time so that you know exactly what to do and it's laid out in front of you in a super easy, super simple to follow manner. All right, so with no further ado, let's jump on in. So the first thing here is posture check. When it comes to posture, I want you to ask yourself these 2 questions when you're trying to manipulate your posture to be more aligned. The first one is, what is my posture unconsciously telling me? So our bodies, we typically look as just a physical item, a physical vessel. Our minds, our bodies, and our emotions are all interconnected. So there's no way to divide them. They're all part of one unit. And if we find ourselves in a position like this where our shoulders are rounded and our thoracic spine is, kyphotic like this, we want to ask ourselves, what is the posture telling me? If we're down like this, chances are we're feeling down. And our life experiences come together to really make the body what it is. So when we have distortions of the fascia or the muscles or the musculoskeletal system in some way, there's a very good chance that if we haven't been injured acutely or hit by a car, fell down a flight of stairs or something like that, that the way that we feel about ourselves is actually putting us into the posture that we're in. So if you're in a position like that, I invite you to think, what is it that makes me, constantly come back to this one position as opposed to one where I'm up, ready for life, ready for action, like this, where everything is lined up ideally. And what happens is if I show you these things, programming-wise for flexibility, they're all very effective. But if the body is being distorted by something emotionally based, none of them are going to work, which is why it's so important to address this first. So that's the first question is, what is my body posture telling me? The second thing, am I ready to address the underlying issues? So this is a whole different video series of itself to get into all that, but I want you to just kind of explore that a little bit, and maybe it might ring true with you that that's the case, and you might have to go down the route of adjusting a few things and doing some inner work before the rest of this is going to be as effective. So with that said, we'll go ahead into the kind of physical stuff from here on out. So the second part here, which muscles do I stretch? So video 2, if you remember that's where we went over the 9 stretches from top to bottom. If you haven't seen that yet, I'll leave a link over here somewhere. I'll try to put like a little card for the in the corner of the video so that you can click on it and watch that so you know exactly what these stretches are right here. These are 3 common problems that people run into, and these are the stretches that are most appropriate to apply to those. So if you have a rounded upper back like this, what you want is the foam roll mobilization. So that's when you're getting on the foam roller and you're allowing the thoracic spine with the help of gravity to readjust itself. If you have pronated shoulders, which is where your shoulders turn in like this, which typically goes along with a rounded back, they kind of go hand in hand. The pronated position is unwound through the pec minor stretch, which is going to stretch the chest right here, and the upper traps, which is the shoulder muscles that are right on top. And then the last thing is an overarched lower back, right, where you got kind of like a Donald Duck positioning. The lower back has too much curvature in it. This is usually going to end up with tight hip flexors and tight quads. So the groin, the hip flexors are going to be tight, especially if you sit a lot, and the quads are also going to be tight because they go in conjunction with each other. So stretching those out is usually going to solve that problem or at least help it. So those are some basics to go over right there. And the last thing is designing your own stretching program. So now that you've tested yourself, right, you know which muscles are tight, and you know also what postural issues that you're having that are kind of going in line with that. The next thing is looking into the acute variables. The acute variables are everything with exercise and with training. So these are the reps, the sets, the tempo, the rest periods, all of that stuff. For stretching, the 2 that are most important are reps and duration. So these are the 2 that we're going to look at. And you might be asking yourself, how do I know how many reps to do, how long to do them for, etc. This is where I put a little thing together for you to kind of give you an easy to go off of template, if you will. If you're moderately tight, you want to do 3 to 4 reps for 5 to 7 seconds each rep, okay? If you're very tight, you want to do 6 to 8 reps. So you're doubling the number of reps that you do because it's tighter, and it's the same amount of time, 5 to 7 seconds. Now this is the interesting thing. If you're extremely tight, meaning you have aches and pains that won't go away, say your shoulders are really tight and they're impinged and it's bothering you on an everyday basis and it's been like this for a while, you're actually going to do 3 to 4 reps. So it's going to be just like the moderately tight one, but what changes is the duration. You're doing it for 30 seconds. So it's going to turn into a static stretch. And the reason for this is that when you do a static stretch for 20 to 30 seconds or more, the Golgi tendon organ in the muscles turns on, which shuts the muscle off, and that tells the body to go into total relaxation mode, which is really, really key because that's going to give you a better stretch. You just have to make sure you don't do vigorous activity afterward because the muscle can't fire properly and you can get injured. But as long as you're not doing anything after, you're fine. Now, the way you know you're moderately tight, very tight, or extremely tight, it's kind of a subjective thing. Moderately tight is, I feel that there's a stretch there, it could probably be loosened up, no big deal. Very tight is, it's definitely tight, oof, yeah, that's in need of stretching, that's pretty bad. And extremely tight is pain. So when you're at the point where something is painful or you've been trying to unwind it for a long time and it's not going anywhere seemingly and it's constantly tight, that would go under the extreme category, and that's how you fix it right there. So last thing right here, now that you know the acute variables of the stretches, what you're going to do, and this is the sheet that I use with my clients. So this, if you can see that, there you go. This is the stretching program chart. So I'm giving you exactly what I use with my clients. This is the best of the best right here. All right, what you do is you put your stretch right here on the left-hand side, and then in the duration category, you're going to put the amount of time, and then the reps are next to that to the right, and you just write the number of reps. So I even put an example here so that you know how to fill this out. Example, pec minor stretch, 5 to 7 seconds, 3 to 4 reps. And then there's 10 spaces here for you to fill in all the different stretches that you need for yourself based on the test that you did, so you know which ones to do, and obviously the repetitions and duration for how long. And then there's a little note section so you can just write some notes to yourself for memory when you take this on the go. So that's how you fill that in right there. And I'll leave a PDF on the bottom here of this email so you can click on it and then download that into your computer. So that's it right there. That is everything you need to know about stretching in 4 videos. If you follow all the stuff that I've given you, I promise your flexibility will improve immeasurably. And this is definitely a game changer. So share this with family and friends. You know, hook people up with some of those PDFs so that they can benefit as well. And the most important thing of all is please, please, take this into action. Don't let this rot in your email inbox. You got to get up to the plate, play ball, put the ball in play to actually get the best of this. So, you know, use these stretches, do them in your everyday life. You're going to get tight. You're going to have to go to a chiropractor or a physical therapist with aches and pains if you don't do these things on your own preventatively. So use this stuff now and be proactive so it doesn't get to that point. These videos are totally free. Chiropractors and physical therapists you have to pay for, remember that. So with that said, that's it for the 4 weeks. Thank you guys for watching. And you know, this is again what I do for a living as an in-home trainer. So if you're interested, you can certainly reach out to me, Kevin Walsh. My number is 609-577-1913, kwninjatrainer@gmail.com. I work with people in the Princeton and New Hope area. So if you're looking for a personal trainer and you could use help with something like this, I would love to work with you. You could reach out to me. And I also, as a side note, write programs for people who want to do this on their own as do-it-yourself programs. So we do a comprehensive assessment, I rate you the program and then give it to you, show you how to do it, and you do it on your own from there, which is a more affordable option and also something for people who like to do things on their own without necessarily having a coach with them right there. And there are a number of people watching this that I've done that for, so they know that these are good programs that are definitely game changers when you use them. So with that said, thank you for watching. I'll catch you on the next video series going into the next month. Enjoy the rest of your Monday and stay healthy.